For me, there's no other hunt like this. The people, the scenery, just everything, and the beast, the ibex, there's just nothing like it.
For me, climbing mountains, fly fishing, or this, that's what life is. And if I couldn't do it, I'd wonder why I was here.
For us it's special because it's so wild. You're far away from civilization, no connections with the normal world, and you feel free.
The last time I came I said there's no other hunt I want to do because I just can't get any better than this, so yeah, it's just what I want to do.
This Mid-Asian Ibex hunt starts in the cultural melting pot of Kyrgyzstan's capital, Bishkek. From dates to dog fat.
This is dog fat. Dog fat is okay, but it's better to take even the badger fat. It stings a lot, but it helps.
It's good for a cold, apparently. Our old friend Tomo from Artemis Hunting has invited David along to film what promises to be an extraordinary hunting trip. Altitude, tough terrain, horseback, snoring, and a very tough quarry means it will be one to remember. Joining Tomo are like-minded madmen Craig Coote and Rob Gearing. Craig has done this before, and he said yes to this trip before Tomo had even finished his sentence. He's the technical wizard behind Tier 1, respected for their quality scope mounts and shooting accessories. Rob Gearing is a hunter, fisherman and mountain climber, and the inventor of the Javelin magnetic bipod. The one I'm worried about is the cameraman. To break in the Kyrg virgins gently, Tomo has a roadside treat for David and Rob, and, well, let's just say he hasn't been completely honest. They start with fermented mare's milk. That bit is true.
Rob is tough dog.
Nice, David. Sharp.
Just eat them like candy, like it's not bad.
David now thinks he has to chew on sun-dried pony testicles.
They've been warning me about this for 3 days.
I'm still going.
It is in fact a hard, very salty cheese.
That's it, David. Initiation.
Come on, David. Be honest.
Come on, you can do it.
Sure way.
With that initiation over and done with, but with bits still stuck in their teeth, a taxi takes them as far as Narin in the east. From there it's another 2 hours by road and 2 more off-road. The first camp is a couple of railway carriages. There's enough light for Rob and Craig to zero the rifles.
Our base is at 3,000 meters above sea level. So we will acclimatize today just for the altitude, and tomorrow we'll go slowly on horses all up to 4,500 meters to get some ibex.
Rob sensibly has the compact and light Blaser R8. Craig has something a little more weighty, but he loves it.
We're using a Walker custom rifle built by Pete Walker in Halifax in Yorkshire, and it's based on a BAT Action Krieger Supermatch barrel, and it's topped off with one of the new Zeiss V8 scopes. Fantastic for long range dialing in, which you need to do with these animals because you can be shooting at up to 700-800 yards with them. So you really need your optic up to speed, and I've never found anything as good as this yet. Topped off with the Tier 1 mounts, again because it's a very heavy recoiling rifle. It does need something that's got to really hold it securely, And again, I've never found anything as good as a Tier 1 mount. It does help that I actually manufactured a Tier 1 mounts, of course, but there you go. Maybe a little bit of prejudice in there. And they're topped off again with a Tier 1 muzzle brake just to tame the recoil. Because on a rifle like this, it's actually using 94 grains of powder, pushing a 200 grain bullet at 3,100 feet per second. So it's very heavy recoiling, lots of muzzle flash, and I don't like recoil. The muzzle brake really does tame it, so usually I'd use a moderator on here, but in Kyrgyzstan you're not allowed to use moderators, so the next best thing is this muzzle brake. Stops muzzle flip, knocks recoil down to probably less than a 308 to be perfectly honest. So we've got the rifle now shooting accurately up to 700 yards. If we're going to miss, it's going to be down to pilot error rather than the rifle, I think.
After a decent night's rest and some diesel siphoning, it's another 2-hour drive further into the mountains. We're close to the Chinese border, and there are plenty of reminders that the Russians like this place too. The ponies and saddles mean we have reached base camp, and the guys are presented with a welcoming meal. Marco Polo is on the menu. At £25,000 a trophy animal, it's probably the most expensive lamb on the planet. The horse trekking element of this trip has been David's biggest worry. Keen to saddle up, but with his anxieties lost in translation, he ends up needlessly riding off at speed into the distance while the others take the jeep to the RV point. 45 minutes later, and with some chafing issues, everyone is assigned a pony. After 3 days' travel, including an unscheduled night in Istanbul, the hunt for Mid Asian Ibex has begun. Urkis, Aman and Ulan take the intrepid hunters across plains, riverbeds and up mountain passes. There's not another soul up here, just yaks, ibex, Marco Polo and wolves, hence the need for the ancient rifle. Just before we set up camp for the night, the guides spot our first ibex.
We saw a group of females and youngsters. 2-3 smaller ones are 3 years old. And they were fighting, so we decided not to shoot, because there is no point, we need bigger trophy. So we will make camp here overnight, and tomorrow morning we will go on the other side of the hill where they noticed a few days earlier big ibex. So we'll see what will happen tomorrow. But for today, no shooting.
It's a good sign, but now it's time to eat and sleep and prepare for tomorrow.
What a few days it's been. Incredible scenery. Good bunch of guys. Bit saddle sore this morning, but not too bad actually. I'm quite surprised. But the biggest challenge so far has been the horse's testicle and the mare's milk. But seeing ibex last night was really exciting. So hopefully today we'll get on one.
It's a frosty morning, but the sun soon warms the mountains. The group ascends another few hundred metres and waits for the guides to report back. They spot a group of animals. Rob's to have the first shot. Rob goes with Urkis along the ridge to drop down onto the ibex. Tomo and Craig with Aman to work along the cliff face. Keeping up with the welly-wearing Aman is hard going, especially in the thinner air.
We're just getting ready for the first shot to be taken. Rob Gearing's taking that shot. There's a group of about 8 ibex, all of them very big. So as soon as he takes a shot, hopefully the animals will run in this direction. We're waiting to ambush them, and then Tomo's fetish will take the second shot, and hopefully we should have 2 beasts out of this group. All very big animals, all trophies. So we're just waiting now. Everyone seems to be in position, and we'll see what happens.
We watch and wait to see if Rob will be able to take his chance. Rob has his blazer and Tomo is going to use Craig's rifle. The animals continue to graze about 900 metres away and appear settled. Then they're off, spooked, possibly winding Rob, and we're off too. The rifle slides off the rucksack as he takes the first shot. It's a clean miss. His second shot at 440 yards strikes home.
Okay, right.
There's no time for congratulations. Craig has a chance of a shot as the animals are still in range, but not for long. So Craig follows the sure-footed guide. The thrill of the chase means you ignore the sheer drops. There could be an ibex over the next ridge. We arrive too late and Aman makes his feelings known under his breath. No translator required.
Hard work.
When they go, don't they?
They certainly do. Very challenging quarry, very. You're working as much against the terrain as you are against the wildness of the animal. But there's nothing to beat it. He says,
Just don't look down.
just look down. And our translator and the binders is just telling us how useless we are for not keeping up with him. I'm just glad to have made it here, but I ain't looking forward to climb back up there.
I'm really pleased. I missed first shot. The second one was spot on. It was a very awkward position. And second shot I didn't go for the biggest one. I went for a good one. They were all good actually. But I went for one which presented himself really good. And I was really calm to shoot, so very nice. I'm really happy with this one. And thanks to my guide who was guiding us all the time.
Oh man, really good.
Oh, watch out, watch out.
Yeah. It's very dangerous.
No. Right, okay.
Ulan and Erkis Gralik the ibex. It's been an adrenaline-fueled morning.
Well done, Tomo.
445 yards.
Good
shot, that. Yeah. Should have seen the
Rob
smoke.
comes to join us. There'd been no chance for him, but Tomo has got his trophy. It's all very well shooting one of these animals, but it's getting it out that's the problem. They pack the horses and the guys walk up the mountain to the ridge.
China, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan.
Nothing from this animal is wasted. Back at camp, the entrails are cleaned and the joints packed ready for storage. They're to be stored under a rock face for us to pick up when we drop down the mountain pass in a few days' time, hopefully with a few more animals. Next time, Rob pulls off an almighty shot.
We ranged like 698 yards.
And we learn some helpful
Nothing worse than a sore backside, so the trusty coconut fat is full marks again.
and not so helpful tricks for making life more comfortable when hunting in the mountains.